Who is this? It's Union, and it's the Independent Brigades. They're all dead, right? The Independent Brigade chit is in the cup, but they're all over here in this shattered box. There's not a single one left. Hello and welcome back to My Own Worst Enemy. It is time to continue the playthrough of Battlegrounds P Ridge. I am back from Origins and finally have time to get back into doing some playthrough. I don't know how much further I will continue this one. My intent is to go all the way to turn 9. It will depend greatly on how things go though. I don't know, if I reach a point where it looks like there's no point in continuing, I'll probably stop it, but we will see. I do at some point want to do a live chat where I want to talk about some of these things, how long I should continue these games, should I play an entire game from start to finish, would you prefer to see just turns, but we will talk about that hopefully at some point on a live chat, so look for that. So when we last left off with this battle, we had the Union actually did pretty good against the Confederates over at Elkhorn Tavern, so things kind of turned around a little bit for the Union over here, and then back at Leetown, it's hard to say what's going to happen. There's several strong Confederate infantry units to the northwest here, at least the northwest from Leetown's perspective. Got a couple of units coming in from the south of Leetown. One more Union unit that's due to come in on turn 8. I don't know if that's going to be in time to assist anyone or not. We'll have to see. So that is pretty much the status. We will jump right in. I will grab the chit pull cup because all the markers that were pulled need to go back in. So we will do that for the Confederates, and then over here for the Union, get those back into the cup. Advance the turn marker. It is now 2 p.m. and so the Confederate combat marker is now going to go into the chit cup. So the Confederates no longer have the initiative. They no longer get to decide when they want to initiate battle. So that may change things a little bit too. It'll be interesting to see how that impacts the flow of the game. So we are going to jump right into this and see what happens. So the first chit out of the cup is, that is the 2nd Division, the Orange Band Union, which that's down here. That's these two stragglers. So that's actually probably a good thing for the Union. So we'll get that chit out to the used turn markers area, and let's think about where we want to bring these guys. We've got artillery. And we've got a fairly small infantry brigade down here. It's a strength points 3, so it's not as good as, say, this one with 8, who I think is now down to, what is he down to? Got 2 demoralizations. So he's down to 5. He's strength point 7, but 2 are demoralized, so he's at 5. And like I said, he's facing some pretty strong-looking Confederate infantry coming in from this direction. All right, so let's go ahead and move them up. The artillery, probably want to get it into, I may just want to put it in Leetown. In fact, I may bring this other artillery unit back into Leetown and just have them try to hold on there best they can. I don't think going on the offensive is a thing I want to do here. So let's see. This one has movement points of 8, and going along the path was, I believe, 1.5 for a minor road, not a path. I'm still thinking of bayonets and tomahawks terminology. That is actually a minor road. So let's see, it would be 3, 6, and it could almost get there, but not quite. So we could, no stacking here. So let's just move this one all the way up to here. And then this infantry, we can move 9, so it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So he's just going to move up to here. So they're just moving forward. And that is it for the who was that? The 2nd Division. So let's grab another chit out of the cup. And it's the Union Macintosh Brigade. So that's the gray banded units. And I don't think there's a whole lot of those left either. Let's see. Put that over here and use turn markers. There's 1, 2, 3. So we kind of split those off, which I said I wasn't going to do, but I did because it's just all cavalry. And I wanted a cavalry unit over here. Now, whether he stays there or not, we're going to have to see. But let's start over here first. So I need to decide what the cavalry's going to do. And I think I might actually consider swinging them down and around to try to hit from behind over here. Like I said, we do have some pretty strong infantry units that are going to come down to attack. So to attack artillery, if we look at our combat situations chart, cavalry's at a -3 when attacking artillery, so that may not be such a good idea. Well, it may not be such a good idea to attack the artillery with the cavalry, but it may be a good idea to try to get these infantry units. There's also these guys over here we could make a run for. That might be the thing to do, actually, is to bring these two in this way and have this one come down, and then just have these units try to take Lee Town. I don't know, well... So yeah, I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring this cavalry down. Let's see, he is at really strength point 2. Well, maybe I'm not going to bring him. I was going to have him swing around down and maybe try to attack the artillery, even though he's at the serious disadvantage. But maybe that's not what I want to do. So instead, I think maybe what I might do is have maybe these two come along this way or come over this way and attack this infantry. So let's see. This one's he's also at 2. So let's see, it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, he's got plenty to get there. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, so I could definitely bring these two over here. Let's do that. So we're going to come, let's see, this one. Okay, so they're both 2, right? So let's just bring this one into here. And this one into here. And again, strategy for this particular game went out the window early on. In fact, I didn't really put a lot of thought into, obviously, as to what I was doing. So at this point, it's just kind of, let's just rush in and see what happens, which is not the way you want to play this game. So that's going to mean approach fire for both of those. So I'm going to put an approach fire marker. This will be an approach fire for this one and an approach fire for this one. And then up here, the cavalry, we do have artillery here, so I've got to be careful. Like I said, the cavalry is brittle when it's attacking artillery. It's at a -3. And what I might do is just bring it, let's see, so that's clear. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And what is he at? He's at a 4 or a 3. He's got 1 demoralization, so it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So he could come down here. I don't want to bring... Well, yeah, let's do that. Let's keep these units together. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we're just going to bring him down here. So we have the cavalry swinging in from 2 different directions. I'll grab a approach fire marker for this unit. And that is it for the Macintosh Brigade. So let's draw another chit out of the cup. And it is the Confederates again, the Missouri State Guard. All right. And so I think I'm just going to bring them forward again. This unit on the right is at strength point 2, and this one is at strength points 1, if I remember correctly. So they're weakened. So I think I might, I gotta be careful because like both combat chits are in the cup, so the Confederates can't control combat. I was gonna rush these all forward, but then I forgot, yeah, that the combat chit must be pulled before they can attack. I still might do it though. I mean, I don't think the Confederates are looking so good over here. Let's just do it. Let's bring, this unit is gonna come straight forward again. We're gonna bring this one straight forward. So that's the, yeah, that's all the Missouri State Guard. I'm going to leave this one on the hill because he can still hit this artillery. And this artillery is going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that will earn all of those approach fire markers. And let's see. This one just moved in. And this one just moved in. And this one just moved in. All right, so maybe not the smartest thing to do, but let's see what happens. And again, this artillery on P Ridge is going to stay on that hill. And let's go and pull another chit from the cup, and it is the Union combat turn. So that's what I was afraid of with doing this. The Union combat chit has been pulled. So I will grab the combat summary player's aid and look at it, and it says, of course, the first thing is that the defender's cavalry can retreat before combat, but I don't think we're going to do that. These are eligible because these are cavalry units. So they could, in fact, retreat here, but I don't think I'm going to have them do that. We're just going to go all in here. Next is attacker bombardment. I don't think there's any Union artillery that could bombard here. Line of sight is blocked over here from the woods, and the same thing over here. And of course, this artillery unit that's adjacent can't bombard. It has to be a regular combat attack. So next step would be the attacker retreat before combat. I don't think that the Union wants to do that either. So then now we must resolve approach fire. All right, so let's start over here resolving this approach fire. So this unit must split his fire equally between these two units. He's at 6 strength points. So this one's going to take 3, and I think he's in the clear, I believe, right? Yeah, so that's going to be bad. So we're going to start off. He's in the clear. So the to hit is 5 to begin with. So there's a 5. He is moving, so this unit moved in, so that's going to be a -3. That'll bring him down to 2. His morale is 0, so no adjustment for that. It is infantry versus cavalry, so that's going to be a +2, so this goes back up to 4 now. Quick look at the chart here, make sure we've accounted for everything. So I think that's it. So looking for a 4, and he gets to roll 3d10, so let's do that. So he fires. And that is a complete miss, so that wasn't good for the Union. Same thing down here. He's in the woods though, so it's actually going to be, the woods are starting off at 3. Let's just do it from the beginning so we do it right. Starting off at 3. The unit is moving, so that's going to be a -3. Infantry versus cavalry, which you said was +2. Wait, did I do something wrong there? Let's see. So again, he's in the woods and he's moving. So that'll take him down to 0. It is infantry versus cavalry. So that brings it up to +2 again. And the morale for the Union unit is 0. So yeah, looking for a 1 or 2 to hit. He fires. And that is a complete miss. So good news for the Confederates, bad news for the Union. So that is approach fire here. So let's take these approach fire markers off. I think the Confederates got really lucky right there. And then over here we've got another one, so let's resolve that. And I'll go ahead and remove the approach fire marker on that one too. So he's at strength points 3 in the woods. So again, in the woods starts off at 3. Moving puts him down to 0. It is infantry versus cavalry again, so that's going to be +2. Morale is 0. Same thing, looking for, in this case though it's 6, so it's not quite the same thing. Let me grab a black D10. So it's going to be 6 D10s looking for a 1 or 2 to hit. And that looks like 1 hit. No, 2 hits. That's a 1, not a 7. So 2 hits. And we will go ahead and resolve those 2 hits now. So it is a morale check here, I believe, and looking for a 6 or greater to pass the morale for this unit. His morale is a -1, so he's going to roll a D10. He gets a 2 - 1. That is a failure. So when they fail the morale checks, the first hit is in fact a loss. So this unit is going to take a loss. So he's going to be down to 3 strength points now. And there was another, that's the first hit. So that's another demoralization. So really he's going to be at 1 strength point. He failed his morale check too, so he's going to have to retreat. So let's see. One of these is a 2, so I'm going to put a 2 demoralized and 1 hit on that unit. And I thought I grabbed a strength point 3. Strength points, 3 strength points, 2 of which are demoralized, so he's really at 1 strength point. And I said that he had to retreat, but that's not true for approach fire, so he actually sits right there. And that will do it for that part of the combat. Or no, for that part of this side for the combat. We still have approach fire over here we need to resolve, so let's do that. And over here we are looking at... This unit is in the woods, so that's going to be starting off at 3. It's moving, so back down to 0. This time it's artillery versus cavalry. Actually, no, it's artillery versus artillery, so I don't think there's any adjustment for that. There's not, so we're still at 0. The morale is 0 for this unit, so no adjustment for that. Basically, they're going to have to get a 1. Because you can't go lower than a 1, and we have, it's only 1d10, and he's looking for a 1, so not so good there, and gets a 6, so that's a miss. So this one is resolved. And now we come up to here, and this unit was down to 3 strength points with, I think I said 2 demoralizations, and I can't really grab that stack for some reason. Yeah, he's only got 1 strength point. This one effectively has 5, so he's going to throw 5. Do I have another one in there? Get the black one out of the way. So there's 5. And this unit, I think, is in the clear. That could have been a huge mistake. So he's in the clear. That's going to start the to hit number at 5. And moving though, so that'll bring him down to 2. It is infantry versus infantry, I believe. Yep. Let's go ahead and get the marker off there. Infantry versus infantry, so nothing there. +1 for the morale of this unit will bring it back up to 3. And we fire. That is one hit. It's like 1 hit. So 1 hit on this unit, -3 morale. Uh-oh, this may not be a good thing. He only has 1. I think this is going to be it for this unit. So he's going to have to pass his morale check. Rolls a 6. That's a 3. So he fails the morale check. When you fail the morale check with approach fire, the first hit is a loss. And this unit is now down to 2 strength points. Yeah, he just got wiped out. So we're going to remove him. He is not wiped out, but he is eliminated. All right, so we'll take that off. And this unit has completed its approach fire. Over here, this unit, let's go ahead and remove this approach fire marker. All right, so in the woods again, that's a 3 to start with. Moving takes it down to 0. This guy's at a +2. That'll get him back up to 2. And he is going to fire 5. And 5d10. And he's looking for a 1 or 2. 1, 2, no, I'm sorry, 1. I said 1 or 2, not 1 or 3. 1 hit on this unit. And he is down to... It's hard to grab these stacks with the tweezers when there's multiple units or multiple counters. So there's 4. And 2 are demoralized. So the morale check comes next. He gets a -2 to that, looking for a 6 or greater. So he passes the morale check, and when you pass the morale check, it's just another demoralization. So that's going to get this unit 3 demoralizations instead of 2. Basically, effectively, he's at 1 strength point for fighting now. 4 strength points, 3 demoralizations. Okay, and now that is it for the, and I'll get this combat marker out of the way. That's it for approach fire. Now we go into engagements, and we'll start over here. Remember, it was the Union that had initiated this. So splitting the fire, it's basically the same thing, with this time though there can be retreats based upon what happens here for the Confederates. And I think I said 2 and 2. Yeah. So he's going to split his fire, and starting with that top one, again, he's in the clear, so that's starting at 5 for the to hit number. No moving, that penalty is now gone. Morale is 0 for this Union unit, so simply looking for a 5, and he gets to throw 3d10 because he's splitting his fire. So he fires looking for a 5 or greater or less, so that is 2 hits. So let's grab a 2-hit marker. That is 2 hits, and then again down here, so we're starting at 3 this time. No modifications because the movement is not in this anymore, so we roll again looking for 3 or less. That is complete miss. And now we come over here. So it's the woods, it starts at 3, no morale modification. And I think I forgot over here, this was cavalry, so it should have been infantry versus cavalry is +2, so there may have been another hit there, but I can't remember, so I'm just gonna let it go. Here, we'll account for it though, so it's +2 because it's versus cavalry. Gotta watch out for that. And he's going to fire all 6 of his at that cavalry, looking for 5 or less. It's 1, 2. That's only 2 hits, so that wasn't very good. Not a very good roll. 2 hits here. So back to over here. This artillery is going to fire at that one. It's, get these dice out. A little bit of cleanup over here. Starting to hit number in the woods is 3, which we all have memorized by now. Artillery at range 0, adjacent, gets a +1. So it's going to get a +1. That'll take it to 4. The morale is 0, so it's still at 4. I didn't do my return fire over here yet, so we got to do that. Let's go ahead and go through with this. Firing 1, looking for 4. What is that? A 2, so that's a hit. So 1 hit here. For firing, it doesn't really matter. It's all simultaneous, so we'll go ahead and finish out the Union's fire first here. We only have one more, and it's over here with this infantry unit. Firing at this Confederate infantry unit, which has 2 strength points, starts at a 3, +2 for his morale. It's at 5, and that is the only modifiers because they're infantry versus infantry doesn't change anything. Throwing 5d10, looking for 5 or less. That is 1, 2, 3 hits. A little bit better there. If I can find a 3-hit marker, there's one. 3 hits, that's probably going to do that one in. So now let's go back and return fire for the Confederates. So that was 2 hits, but he was at 2 strength points. 2 strength points, so firing back at the Union there, he's in the woods, so it starts at 3. And the morale for the Confederate there is 0, no change there. Cavalry versus infantry, it's a -1, so that's going to bring him down to 2. And that is it for modifications. He gets to roll 2d10s, looking for a 1 or 2. Complete miss. This cavalry also is at 2 strength points, and it's everything's the same, so looking for 2. That's a miss. Going over here, what is he at? 3 strength points, 2 of which are demoralized, so he only gets to fire 1 d10. His morale was a -1, so starting at 3 because of the woods. -1 due to morale. Looking for a 1 or 2 here. No, he's cavalry versus infantry. Another minus. So he's got to get a 1. A 1 with 1d10. He gets a 2. Miss. And then up here, this is 4 strength points. So we'll grab 4 D10. Firing at the artillery that's in the woods. So starting off at 3, but then -2, he's at 1. So he's got to get a 1 to hit that artillery. That's 1 hit. So when you're actually resolving the hits, then the defender, I believe, just does the morale checks first. So that was a hit on this guy. And then finally up here, this one's 2, so he gets to throw 2 D10. Oops, starting in the woods, 3. His morale's -2, so again, he's got to get a 1 to hit that infantry. So looking for a 1, that's a miss. And we resolve the hits. And I don't know why I just did this. I put it... That should be a hit, not a demoralization, at least not yet. That was a hit on this guy. All right, so let's start with, let me grab the chart here, or rather the player's aid card. So next is, yeah, the defender morale checks, potential retreats. Starting up, we'll resolve this one first, who has 2. And he's 2 strength points. So first he's got to pass a morale check. Morale 0, so it's a straight roll looking for 6 or greater. That's a 10, so he passes the morale check. And that means he will not have to retreat, but that is 2 demoralizations on a unit that already has 2, right? Yeah, so that unit is going to be shattered. So let's go ahead and get him out of here. So he's shattered. He's got 4 strength points and 4 demoralization, so he's gone. And this one we apparently missed, so he's still at 2. Could be some more combat, another combat round here. Over here we have, let's see, what was his morale? -1, so we got to pass a morale check. A 6 -1 is a 5, so that is a failure, I believe, on the morale checks, which is over here. We can look, yep, that's a fail. That's going to mean retreat, but in the meantime, that is, well, it's a fail, so it's a hit also. And what was he down to? 3. So now he's going to be down to 2 strength points with 2 demoralizations, so he's going to be gone. Not the smartest thing for the Confederates to do. Up here, we're looking at a morale of -2, making the morale check 9 -2. He passes the morale check, so he's now down to 3 strength points. 3 strength points for this guy. No retreat. And up here, -2 for the morale check, so yeah, he fails the morale check. So all 3 of those hits do land, with the first one being a loss, and he was already down to 4. That's going to take him down to 3 with 3. Yeah, he's gone. These markers come off the board. And we have another hit to resolve, and that is over here. So a Union morale check. Looking for, what is that, a 2? That's a fail. That's going to be a, well, that's gonna eliminate him because he only has one strength point, which was just eliminated. So this unit will actually go into the eliminated box. And that is going to do it for the first engagement. And then we go back through now for second engagement. So there is one here. And again, we're starting off at 3 because the cavalry, the Confederate cavalry is in the woods. So he starts off at 3. It's infantry versus cavalry, so that is +2. That'll get him to 5. There's no morale adjustment for that Union infantry. He just fires 5 of these D10, looking for 5 or less. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4. That's all hits. I thought that was an 8, but that's a 3, so those are all hits. That is 5 hits on that unit. Is there a 5 hit marker in here? I'm sure there is. I see a 6, so yeah, there's the 5. And now the cavalry, his last shot, he gets to fire 2. So he's starting at 3, and it is cavalry versus infantry, -1, so it's going to bring him down to 2. No adjustments for morale, it's just he's looking for 1 or 2. Does get a hit, so he manages to get a hit as he dies, I think. So that is it. I don't know why in the world I'm putting demoralization markers on these units instead of hit markers. This was actually 5 hits, which we'll resolve now. Well, there's not really, we know how this is going to go. There's going to be 5 hits on this unit. So he's got to pass a morale check. He is going to get, we'll do it just to do it. So he fails the morale check. The first one's going to be a hit, taking him down to 3 strength points. And the remaining 4, yeah, he's gone. The remaining 4 are demoralizations. So that unit is shattered. This will go away. This Union infantry is going to take a morale check. 10, so he passes with flying colors. The hit is simply a 1 demoralization marker, and I'll grab an actual demoralization marker instead of a hit marker to put under here. So not so bad there for the Union. And that is it for Union combat. Let's just get that off there. All right, so now we go to the Chit Pull Cup again. Still haven't had the Confederate combat chit come out. It's really, let's see. Yeah, it's not looking so good at Elkhorn Tavern for the Confederates anymore. And the next chit pulled is the 1st Division, and that is all, I think, over here. Yeah. So let's go over there to the 1st Division, and I think I want to pull this artillery back 1. And I'm going to bring this infantry 1, 2, well, let's see. I'm going to bring him up. This one, well, let's see, how many points does he have in there? He was 8 down to 7, so it's really, he's strength 5. I'm going to bring him just up to here. I'm going to bring him to here. He's going to move forward. And this infantry, I am going to move back to here. Let the Confederates come to us. 1, 2, 3, I think that's it. These are all part of a different division. And yeah, that is it. So let's go ahead and go back to the Chit Pull Cup. And we pull, well, we pulled that 4th Division. And I'm going to, this guy is at, he is still at full. I was going to walk him into Elkhorn Tavern, but again, that's clear terrain, and this artillery can bombard him from there. So I don't know if I really want to do that. And this artillery is down to 3 strength points. And this infantry is not hurt yet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So he could swing around to here, but then he would be taking artillery in the face, and he doesn't want to do that. So I think what I do want to do is move, what did I just say he was at? He's at 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to bring this one into this artillery's face. And that will earn him an approach fire marker, but that's going to tie up that artillery. And who knows, maybe we can actually take out that artillery. Its morale is weak. So we're moving in to here with that unit. And this unit I'm going to bring back towards Elkhorn Tavern. I think we can just hold on to it now. Let the Confederates come to us. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's just do that. We'll move him to over here. And that's going to be it for the 4th Division. Let's pull another marker out of the Chit Pull Cup. And it is, that is the Independence. Well, there's only one of those left. It is an artillery unit. Remember, the Confederate combat chit has not come out yet. That's a strong artillery unit, though. He's at 6 strength points. 1, 2, 3, I think I'm just going to move him in. He's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That'll earn him an approach fire marker. And that is it. Oh, that's not it either. Actually, we still have this Indian brigade that, like I said, I really just don't know what to do with him. He's so much like glass that he's going to break. I could bring him. I can't move him into the zone of control of a unit because that's not allowed with that Indian unit. And the only thing like I said, I think you could use him for was to kind of hinder the Union forces from retreating, but that's not going to do much good. I'm just going to leave him there. I really don't know what to do with him in this particular scenario, especially after I've kind of just rushed everybody in without very little thought to what to do with that unit. So I'm going to say that's it for the independent brigades, and we'll pull another chit from the cup. And we pull another Confederate unit. That is, who is that? That is the Price Division. And that's the these units over here. 2 artillery and a infantry, and they're all low morale. The infantry especially, he's at -2. But the combat chit has not come out of the cup yet for the Confederates, so I'm just going to have them rush in. Could bring this guy up, and then this guy. I don't want to put him in the open. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That may be the thing to do. So we're going to bring this unit up, and he's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's all or nothing at this point. The Confederates, I think, are getting desperate. So this unit is moving and gets approach fire. This unit is moving and gets approach fire. And that artillery down there is moving and gets approach fire. And that is it for the Price Division. We will go back to the chit pull cup. Who is this? It's Union, and it's the Independent Brigades. They're all dead, right? The Independent Brigade chit is in the cup, but they're all over here in this shattered box. There's not a single one left. So that really shouldn't even be in there. We'll draw another chit out of the cup. The Independent Brigades didn't last long. There it is. There's the Confederate combat chit is out of the cup. So we've got some combat to resolve here. And I think the first thing we do, is it bombard? No, the first thing we do is defender cavalry retreat. And I don't think we have any Union cavalry that could retreat. It's all infantry and artillery, so skip that. And then we go to attacker bombardment. And really it's just this Confederate artillery up on the hill there. And let's see, can certainly hit these two. 1, 2, 3, but that's going to give him a -4 on whatever he does. But hey, nothing ventured, nothing gained, so he might as well take his shot. He's probably going to have to roll a 1 to hit. So let's just have him shoot at this infantry from 3 away. That infantry is in the woods. I'm sure it's going to be a 1 to hit. But we'll go through the motions because that's how you learn this game. So that's 3 for being in the woods, -1 for the artillery's morale, and then he is, like I said, 3 away, so it's a -4. He's going to have to get a 1. But he does get to roll 4 d10, so he could very possibly roll a 1. And he bombards. And he doesn't roll a 1. He rolls 3 2s, though, just to mess with our minds, I guess. And I'm pretty sure there's no more possible bombardments, so we go right into the, well, let me grab the other chart. Pretty sure now we go into the approach fire resolution. No, attacker retreat before combat. No, they started this, they're not going to retreat. Now we go into the approach fire resolution, and let's start over here. And we'll put that off to the side. So this is, the Union is firing at the artillery, so that's going to start him off at 3 because he's in the woods. Morale 0. It's infantry versus artillery. That'll give him another +1 to that, so now he's at 4. The artillery is moving though, so now it's -3 because he is moving. So now we're down to 1. And the Union infantry gets to fire 6d10, looking for 1s. And I don't see any. That's a 1. That's 1 right there. So that's a 1. I thought that was a 7. So 1 hit. And if I can grab a hit marker instead of a demoralization marker. So we're going to say this comes off. That's a hit. And since this is a... What am I doing? Where did the... Yeah, no, that's right. Since this is approach fire, we go ahead and resolve that now. So that's 1 hit. Got to pass a morale check. Is it a -1? Got to get a 6 or better. He does get a 6, so he passes this morale check. He's going to get a demoralization marker. So demoralization marker of 1. We'll take the hit off. So he's now at effectively 5 strength points. So that's pretty good for artillery. Approach fire. We have more approach fire over here. So this one, he's at 3. Oh wait, it's the yeah, he's firing. And I got this backwards. It's actually the Union that's firing here because the Confederates advanced. So he's at 3. Starting in the woods, 3 +1 for the Union morale. Yeah, he's gonna have to get a 1 because it's moving. So 3d10s, looking for 1s, and is that a 7 or a 1? That's a 7, so that's miss. This goes away. Over here, gonna have to split the fire. So that is Union at 4 and artillery at 4. How does he want to do this? He's going to fire 2 at the artillery and 3 at the infantry. So 3, I said 2 at the artillery. So 2, artillery is in the woods, 3, 4 for the +1 for the morale for the Union. The unit was moving, so now we're back down to -3. So he's got to get a 1 to hit, and that's a miss. So this approach fire marker is now off the board. And his other fire, he split fire. So we start with 3. Did I do that right? Yeah, his 3 +2 for the morale gets him up to 5. This unit was moving, so that's a -3, brings him down to 2. And he's got to get a 2 to hit, 1 or 2 to hit. That is a 7, so that's all misses. Some bad rolling for the Union. And finally down here, full strength, so he gets 4 d10s. That artillery is in the woods, so that starts him at 3. +2 for his morale gets him to 5. That unit is moving back down to 3. It is infantry versus artillery, so +1, he's back up to 4. And he's rolling 4 d10s, looking for 4 or less. So that is just 1 hit. That is some really bad rolling for the Union, so that's 1 hit. 1 hit on that artillery. Let's go ahead and resolve that. He's got to pass the morale check. He's at -1, so we're looking for 6 or greater. Nope, that's a failure. Down to 3 strength points. Again, there's no retreating for approach fire. Take the hit away to show the 3 strength points now. And we will go to the first round of engagements. So going way back over here, and it is the Confederates that started this fight. This artillery is at 5 strength points, so we're going to get his 5d10 out. Firing at the infantry in the woods starts him at a 3. And -1 on his morale, so now he's at 2. It is artillery versus infantry, so that's going to be no modification. So simply at 2, firing 5 D10s, looking for a 1 or 2. And that's just 1 hit on the Union. 1 hit, 1 hit. Let's find 1 hit and not a DM marker. So that's going to be a hit here. And I will return fire for the Union now instead of doing it separately. Let's go ahead and do that. So the Union's going to fire back. Three for the woods, and it's infantry versus artillery, so that is a +1, so that's 4. No morale modification, and he's rolling 6 D10. Looks like 1 hit. I'd still say this is just terrible rolling for the Union. So that's 1 hit. So they each managed to inflict a hit on each other. Back over here, we'll do the Confederates first. Firing, I believe I said, yep, 3 strength points. So let's grab 3 D10s. Firing into the woods. So starting at 3, -2 morale. So that's going to take him down to 1. No other modification. So looking for 1s. Well, no, wait a minute. There's another modification. So that's adjacent for artillery. So he does get a +1. So really he's looking for a 1 or a 2. Looking for a 1 or a 2. Well, a 2 is a hit. So we'll just put it next to there. And now the Union's going to fire back. The Union gets 3 D10. Starting at 3 for the woods. +1 for morale. And it's artillery at range 0. So that's another +1. So he's at 5. So looking for 5 or less to hit. Finally, he gets 3 hits. All of his rolls hit. That was good for the Union. Now up here, let's fire the Confederate first, because the Union's going to have to split his fire. Doesn't matter. It's all simultaneous anyway. Let's start with the artillery. So the artillery is at 4, so he's going to have 4 D10s to chuck. Starting in the woods again, so that's 3. That is -1 for morale. It's artillery at 0 though, so it gets +1, so back up to 3. And he's firing 4, so he's looking for 3 or less to hit. 1, 2 hits, okay. Find a 2 hit marker. So far it's 2 hits on that unit. Now the infantry's going to fire. Starts at 3, -2 gets it down to 1. No other modifications because it's infantry versus infantry, so firing 4 D10s and looking for only a 1 will do. Complete miss. And now the Union gets to return fire. So he's going to do the same thing. He's going to fire 2 strength points at the artillery and 3 at the infantry. Starting with the artillery first. Infantry versus artillery, I think I said was +1. Okay, so 3 to hit because it's woods. His morale is +2, so that's 5. And then another one, so that'll get him to 6 because he's shooting at artillery. And he is going to throw 5 D10s. So you would think that 6 or less on 5 D10s he would hit something here. So let's see. No, not 5. What am I saying? Only 2. He's splitting fire. So still, though, you think he would hit. So it's a 5 and a 8. So he does hit 1 hit on the artillery. And his other 3 are going to go against the infantry. Now that is 3 +2 for his morale and no other adjustments. So it's infantry versus infantry. 5 or less. Again, you think he would hit here. He does hit with 1, so that's 1 hit on this unit. It's like I forgot one down here. So this artillery is firing at that infantry starting at 3. Morale is -1, so he's at 2. And that is it. So he's going to chuck 3 3d10s, looking for 1 or 2. So it's 1 hit on that unit. If I can find a 1-hit marker. That's going to be 1 hit on this guy. Then he's going to return fire, start at 3 for the woods, +2 for the morale. Infantry versus artillery gets him a +1. 6. And he's throwing 4 d10s. So 4 d10s. Looking for 6 or less. 1, 2, 3 hits on that artillery. So that was finally a good roll for the Union there. And 3 hits on that artillery. Now we resolve defender first. So defender first, starting over here. Got to pass a morale check. It's his morale's 0, so 6 or greater. So 9 passes his morale check, so it's just 1 strength point, or not strength point, but demoralization. 1 demoralization marker goes on him. So we'll pull this hit marker off and put this underneath. And then we'll come back over here. So again, he's got to pass morale. Gets a +1, looking for 6 or greater. Ooh, that's a fail. That is a fail. So that's a... He's demoralized, right? And so that's going to take him down to 3 strength points. So that is a loss, and now he's going to have to retreat. Let me go ahead and finish up. So remember, I've got to retreat this guy. I'm going to put a marker on the board. So he's going to have to retreat. And let's go over here now to this infantry, which has 2 hits on it. Got to pass a morale check, but he gets +2, looking for 6 or better. He does. He passes his morale check, so those hits are demoralizations. So 2 demoralizations on this Union unit. So we'll get rid of that and put 2 demoralizations under him. And finally, this Union unit has to pass a morale check, and he's got to get 6 or greater +2 for his morale. That's a loss, so that is going to be, he's down to 3 strength points. This goes away. He's going to have to retreat, so I got to remember to do that. And again, I'm going to use these new markers because I think I forgot that last time. So this Union unit's going to have to retreat based on what happens. Well, he's going to have to retreat either way. That's it for the Union. Let's go now to the Confederates and see what happens to them. So we got a 1 hit here. Got to pass this morale check with a -1. So he passes. It's going to be another demoralization. He's now at 2 demoralization. So that 1 becomes a 2. If I can get it in here. That comes off. Back over here. This one's going to have to pass a morale check with a -2. So that is 10 -2. That's plenty to pass his morale check. But he's got 3 hits. He's at 3 strength points. So that's 3 demoralizations. That's going to get rid of this unit. Shatter it, I should say. It's not really going to get rid of it. And then up here, this one's going to have to pass a morale check with a -1, 10 -1. So he passes the morale check and he simply goes down to 3 strength points. Okay. This guy's got to pass a morale check with a -2. He does. No, he doesn't. It's a 5, right? And that's not. Where did it go? That's a fail. So he fails his morale check. So that's a hit. He takes a hit, taking him down to 3 strength points, and he's going to have to retreat. mark him as having to retreat. And finally over here, gotta pass a morale check with a -1. Well, he does, but it's 3 hits. Those are all demoralizations. He's only got 3 strength points. That unit is shattered. And let's see. All right, so that was combat for the Confederates. What else? Let's go. We've only got 2 chits left in the cup. We pull 3rd Division for the Union, Davis. Those are the gray banded units, the ones that just got attacked over here. And actually, let's take a look here. Because now we're looking pretty good over at Elkhorn Tavern. But we've got 2 strong, well, I say strong, what are these? This guy's at 2 and this guy's at 5. We're not too bad. And then there's this other guy down here, he's at 3. So we're not looking too bad at Elkhorn Tavern. So I could probably peel these guys off to come over here and help deal with what's going on in Leetown. I'd certainly move one of them. You got movement 9, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Of course, we have this full strength guy. We could also move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to move him over here. I'm going to leave the artillery there. I'm going to move this guy. I could just swing him around. I'm going to swing him around this way for now, just in case I need to rush him over there, and leave the rest of these in place. And then the one chit, yep, the final chit in the cup is the Confederate McCulloch, the purple banded units, and that is the big infantry mass up here. And those are some beefy infantry units up there. You got 2 8s, a 7, and a 4. Of course, their morale, except for this one, their morale isn't that great. I honestly could just rush them all straight forward at this point and just to see what happens. This guy be a clear as 2, be 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, that's a what do you call it? Minor road to be 1, 2, 3.5, 5 to get there. So he could certainly make it. And I actually think I could probably have him also swing over here and be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If I wanted to do that, this guy could come down here. This guy could just step up 1, and this guy could step up 1. I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to bring. He's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, earning approach fire. And this guy's going to go this way, earning approach fire. This guy's going to go straight forward, earning approach fire. They're just mad rush forward. Another Gettysburg moment. And then this guy's just going to go straight forward. Also earning approach fire. So that's going to go here. That is all of the McCulloch units. And that is it for markers in the cup. The end of turn number 6. Now, looking at what just happened, I think Elkhorn Tavern is probably safe. I mean, there's only really 1 infantry unit over here. It's not a very good one. He's down to, well, he's down to 3, but you've got all this infantry. We still have all this, we have these guys we can pull over here, and we still have another Union unit coming in and, well, another turn. It's only 1 turn away now. And where does he enter? 8A. Or I guess 8 is the turn, but A is over here. So he's going to come in over here on that road. So it wouldn't take him, it might take him a turn or 2 to get up there. I don't think he's going to do any good. But I think there's enough on the board now that I think the Union's going to win this. I really do. So I think what I'm going to do is stop it here. I've got enough information to definitely compare Battlegrounds Pea Ridge with Across 5 Aprils Pea Ridge. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just stop the game here and go ahead and do the comparisons between these two games and just move on forward with the next game in the pipeline. So that's going to do it for now. If you like what I do, please like this video. That helps tremendously. Subscribe if you haven't, because that also helps tremendously. And check out the Patreon page. Thank you for supporting the channel if you already are, and please consider doing so if you haven't. And I will see you back here next time.